Good morning, all. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Thursday, the 4th of June. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own shots. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. Right, yesterday on the aftermarket, it looks pretty small on this chart, but that's just because of the huge strength of this move up from the lows. This is actually a sizable double top, which broke down yesterday with a target in the 7,500 area, and I'm still quite liking that reaching target, although we do have a potential little double bottom here that I'm wondering about delivering, which could take us back up and fail the double top. But I'm still leaning towards seeing 7,500. That is a potential head and shoulder neckline, of course. So if we get down there, I'd be wondering about a back test of the weekly pivot and then possibly a fail there to go lower. We shall see. I was asked the question yesterday of why is this market going lower, but I think the better question would probably be why has the market been going up so much? I think that the reason for that is pretty obviously AI. It's certainly not great economic fundamentals or good jobs or inflation or any other reason really, but we will see. I also think we're pretty close to a serious spike in the price of oil, which is actually going to cause an issue and would likely, I suspect, cause a much larger retracement. This is therefore a candidate high, but I'm still leaning towards this getting at least a retest, but we'll see. All right, no current divergence on. That's not true. Did we make a lower low here? We did. We've got a possible weak 60-minute buy signal brewing on NQ. On ES. Nothing on NQ, but we've reached a possible head and shoulder neckline there. Wondering about a possible bounce. We're testing the weekly pivot of support. On RTY, this still looks like a bull flag forming. On YM, this is coming back into a retest of the high already, so we're seeing it pretty uneven here. This is looking like a retracement on tech stocks mainly. Looking at DAX, this still looks like a bear flag. I'm still wondering about a retest of the high there too, and I'm still wondering about a retest of the high on ESTX. On Nikkei, no current divergence. We are testing the rising support trend line for the short-term move up from the mid-May low. So watching to see if that delivers anything. A break below it could deliver a larger retracement. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts and looking at the hourly charts. Nothing really much to see on the daily charts, but on the hourly charts, obviously we had a load of our possible hourly RSI 14 sell signals brewing yesterday. And yesterday, I was leaning towards going a bit high yesterday, but yesterday was actually a bearish leaning day and delivered as a bearish leaning day. We got a bullish leaning day today, and we got another bearish leaning day tomorrow. We'll see, but we've got the RSI 14 sell signal has fixed now on SPX, and it's now fixed on the Qs, and it's now fixed on Dia, and I really think we already had one on IWM. Let's have a look and see how that's going. Yep, we already had one. So we've now got 4 RSI 14 sell signals on we've got one on each of all 4 of these, and generally speaking, these are dependable signals which will likely deliver. So I'm leaning towards this going somewhat lower. Doesn't necessarily have to be today though. In terms of the 15-minute, we've got a nice looking double top setup that's broken down on the ES charts. Looks more like a head and shoulders breaking down here, but I think the target is not dissimilar, probably a little lower. But I think given that ES is trading higher than SPX, I don't think it's a great deal different. I think the target here would be at about the 74.80 area. In terms of the Qs, possible head and shoulders forming here. In terms of Dia, reached a possible head and shoulder neckline. If we saw a bounce, we could set one up for tomorrow. I'm not seeing an awful lot lower here in the short term, but we will see how that goes. In terms of IWM, with a moment. IWM, this looks like a bull flag or triangle forming. So we will see whether that delivers. We do have RSI 14 buy signal, which is fixed here. Looking at DAX, DAX we've got still wondering if we're going to see, we're back testing the daily middle band, but I'm wondering if we're going to see a retest of the all-time high. And Nikkei has gone a bit higher, no current negative divergence, and we've now convincingly broken over the resistance trend line I had there. We will see. This could be a bearish overthrow, or we could be going up to an alternate one. We shall see. All right, let's have a look at DX, where the double top, which had broken down, failed yesterday. So we've gone back up, and we've now formed, of course, a potential larger double top. We will see how that develops. Not an awful lot looking at the other currencies. Looks like bear flag forming on USD. Nothing really to say on GBP USD. We've still got a open target above at a retest of the 160.75 area on Nikkei. On USD CAD, we've made the head and shoulder target. We've got this pretty nice looking rising megaphone here. Haven't quite made it to megaphone resistance overnight, but I'm looking for potential resistance as and when we reach it. Australian dollar, not a lot to say. Larger head and shoulders forming, and larger double top forming on NZ. All right, let's have a look at oils, where we have broken up from the inverted head and shoulders, and we are seeing a pullback here. Now, how far could that pullback go? Well, 50% would be usual, and of course, given that we're in such a high news environment and so on, it's not beyond the bounds possibility that we actually, this inverted head and shoulders fails, we retest the low, set up a double bottom, and then go up from there. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, because I'm a long while at the moment, and this is not what I was hoping to see this week. But I think the overall trade is absolutely solid. I think we will see how it goes, but I think the chances of seeing this both Brent and crude with 150 within weeks is pretty high. And I'm waiting for that. I'm hoping the wait won't be too painful, but it might be. We shall see. In the short term, we don't have any positive divergence on Brent. We don't have any positive divergence on CL. We're below the monthly pivot on CL, which I was wondering if that would hold. Brent, we are below it as well. On heating oil is not retraced as much as the other two. We've got another IHS which is broken up there, of course. I'm leaning towards all these inverted head and shoulder patterns making target, because we don't have any real optimism here on the Strait of Hormuz. This was at 19% yesterday. It went down to about 15% overnight, I think, and it's back up to 17%. But optimism isn't high. And if you look at the July 31, if you're thinking that might just be because we're getting close to the end of June now, well, this was the optimism over the deal at 73% by Strait of Hormuz open by July 31. So it's currently at 35. That is not a lot of optimism. We've not seen a lot of news that could be positive for oil here. We shall see. Could we be retesting the lows to set up double bottoms? Yes. Could we be retesting the lows to set up positive divergence on the daily chart? Not on Brent. We've gone too high. Not on CL. We have gone too high. And heating oil, we've gone too high as well. No RSI 5 buy signals brewing here. So we shall see how that goes. But I think so. I'm not expecting to see that for divergence, and really, I'm not expecting to see that at all. But I'm just saying that an inverted head shoulders that breaks up or can always fail. So we shall see how that develops. In terms of RBOB, this still looks like it wants a retest of this low, and actually looking at it, it might get one. NG, we had a little level top that broke down and made target, and we could be coming back up in for a retest of the high. We shall see. If so, that could be the second high of a double top. All right, looking at GC. GC, I was wondering whether this would go up with oil now, but oil, of course, has not been going up for the last day. Well, not from obviously the high yesterday. We'll see, but I'm still wondering about this as a possible inverted head and shoulders. We've still got a possible double bottom on SI. We've still got, no, we don't have a double bottom here on palladium. We have gone lower, and platinum, we have gone lower as well, although that does give us a potential double bottom here. So keeping an open mind, but the correlation we've seen so far has not been particularly promising for precious metals, and we could see retests of the bear flag lows. as and when we see some serious trouble elsewhere. All right, HG. HG retested the high, or at least almost. I'd quite like to see it do a full retest, which it hasn't quite managed. But we've got a possible nested double top setup here. In terms of KC, KC is continuing low. We've got a possible 6-minute buy signal brewing, but it may be that we're just going to see KC go down here. SB. I'm still wondering about a retest of this low here after this triangle breakdown. On CC, I'm still wondering about this head and shoulder target in the 35.19 area. Looking at lumber, we've seen a bit of a rally here. I am wondering whether this might be a flag or a triangle forming from this last low. We shall see. CT, possible bottoming action. Wheat has gone lower. This is no longer looking like a bull flag, but I think this is still likely to go up quite a lot over the next few months. We're just seeing a mystifyingly deep retracement as we are currently on oil as well. On corn, the same. On soy, the same. ZL still holding up at the new highs. Live cattle is trying to break down from the head and shoulders with a target in the 221.9 area. And HE, possible bottoming action, 6-minute buy signal fixed, hasn't reached the possible near miss target yet. All right, we have no questions. In that case, that's a wrap. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, cheers.